we talk about democracy, people then get right to belong to the political party of their own choosing. Now, it make some of we the SLPP, some then the APC. But the most important thing about government is about service to you people then. When you hold a position, what you don't do for you people, now the most important thing. And me they tell when I say, me Alpha Usman Timbo, I get a proven track record about the contribution towards national development at
Alpha Timbo was born on the 27th of April, 1961, in a small town called Rogulan, in Sandatendaran Chiefdom, Bambali District, Northern Province of the Republic of Sierra Leone. His parents Haja Diatubari Timbo and late Minkaila Timbo. He attended the Bambali District Education Committee Primary School in Rogulan 1967 to 1973, under the leadership of late H.B. Jolo. Attended the St. Francis Secondary School in Makene, up to Form 5 1974 to 1979, under the then leadership of late Mr. R. A. Ganu, and lived at 23 Makama Road, Makene.
Because this time round, we want to take State House, but we don't want to take State House to somebody who lacks one governance characteristics. We want to bring in somebody who, apart from having the electability criteria, somebody who can be elected at any time, but we want somebody who can sit there and steer the affairs of the state without us crumbling, like we are doing now. And we have said, Honorable Alpha Timbo
transferred to Ahmadiyya Muslim Secondary School AMSS in Freetown, moved to Falray Bay College, University Sierra Leone 1981 to 1985, and graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in History, Law, and Philosophy. Did his postgraduate diploma in education 1986, taught for almost 7 years at the Sierra Leone Muslim Women Educational Institute, Kankele Secondary School Kissi, Ahmadiyya Muslim Secondary School, Freetown, and the Cardinal Educational Enterprises in Freetown. October 2006. Appointed Secretary General, Sierra Leone Teachers Union, SLTU, in 1990, a position he held for 10 years, until he was appointed Minister of Labor, Social Security and Industrial Relations. During his tenure as Secretary General of SLTU, Timbo, together with Bankabu as President and others, championed the liberation movement of teachers and the union. Together they transformed the SLTU to a more formidable organization that took its rightful position in society. And
as we believe in them. So we believe that it will be the flag bearer and the president support. We know that problem that we ready for their maximum support. So the love them. So the people and the NSF, as you see, they all they have.
Not get for campaign, you know. Sure. Now we don't take and say now we papa today and tomorrow. Sure. Anytime you go, we be now.
A proactive, a developmental oriented. We look in the likes of the time we've been there as Secretary General of the Australian Teachers Union. They don't make a mark. We up to now the people and they will benefit towards that. And as a minister, when he become a minister of Labour and Social Security, he also make another mark where up till now people and the benefit from them and achievement the way he been do. Like he come with the NASIT way by now all the Sierra Leoneans, most the benefits of
We welcome you into Bombali District. We're ready for work with you. You can show the people in the guild. I pray this with you. Answer this man today.
It will make this country a better place for us to live, and it will make Sierra Leone like Singapore. And let me tell you, I don't want you to talk about tribalism, all this or that. Oh yes. Good people, Brigadier is a very good guy. Yes. And Yukela is a very good guy. Oh yes. Alpha Timbo is the best. Yes. Excellent. Exactly. And let me tell you, Alpha Timbo will fix this country and then reduce poverty. Oh yes. And make people live. Oh yes. People like Singapore. That's good. Oh yes. Very correct. I will talk to you later. Yes.
The SLTU headquarters completed in 1991, and SLTU's regional office in Bo completed in 2002, and left the advanced stage of the building of Hotel 5 to 10. During his tenure at SLTU, Timbo had a formidable team in the persons. Introduced a number of professional and trade union programs that enhanced the capacity of the leaders of the union and its members. Founding member of the West African Teacher Leaders Training Project sponsored by LOFDFDLF Denmark and Education International, EI, with headquarters in Brussels. Served as a member of the Board of Education in Sierra Leone that advises the Minister of Education on policy matters. Served as a member of the 633 Implementation Committee and as a member of the National Office. He also served in the Committee of Aptitude Test in the West African Examinations Council. He participated in the murder talks between the International Federation of Free Teachers Union and the World Confederation of Organizations of the Teaching Profession to form Education International. Founding member participant of Education International in Stockholm, Sweden, in 1993, which is the largest international trade secretariat of teachers in the world. First African to win the open seat of the Executive Board of EI. This position he held up to the time he took up appointment as Minister of Labor, Social Security and Industrial Relations. He served as Executive Board member of Education International, African Regional Committee, for over 5 years. At the Sierra Leone Labor Congress, Timbo became the Deputy Secretary General and acted as Secretary General for about 4 years, when Mr. Conde P. Yoyar was our secondment to the then African American.
Because an association different from a trade union organization. An association get the right to talk with government, negotiate terms and rest. But when you translate to a union, you get to establish the trade group negotiating council where the union is done and negotiate with the employer. As far as Sierra Leone is concerned, we not establish the appropriate structures for make people able to do that. We not go in advance for do that. And that might be the main reason, because when once you do that, government has a legal obligation for sit down and negotiate terms and conditions of service for them categories of persons that day. That having been said, I want to make the membership they know say they owe obligations to the union. The first obligation I will pay the union dues. Because union dues are the lifeblood of the organization.
He was also a substitute member of the ILO governing body, representing the workers of the World Workers Group. Also, a position he held up to his appointment as minister. At this body, they formulated policies, including ILO conventions and recommendations that govern the world. He spent over 8 years of uninterrupted service in the national and international trade union movement. Has worked with most, if not all, donor and international financial institutions, like the World Bank, African Development Bank, DFID, NORAD, SIDA, DANIDA, and has great negotiation skills that has enabled him garner support from our international cooperating partners. As human rights activist and on the promotion of democracy, human, and trade union rights, he is the principal founder of the civil society movement and served as its first spokesperson and chief coordinator. He worked with civic organizations, like the Network Movement for Justice and Development Civic Development Uni. Civic Development Unit, Movement for the Restoration of Democracy, Campaign for Good Governance, and the National Commission for Democracy and Human Rights, and the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, in the drive towards the restoration of democracy in Sierra Leone. Timbo was called upon to serve but declined from working with the military regime. The regime then proclaimed two main tasks. Firstly, to speedily prosecute and conclude the rebel war. Some months of administration, the regime readjusted their mission. Then, after almost 2 to 3 years in office, the administration was incapable of ending the war, and there was clear evidence of blatant abuse of human and trade union rights. Timbo and others championed the liberation movement to end the tenure of office of the regime. Organizations stoutly resisted the process that led to its failure. The regime then set up the National Advisory Council under the leadership of ex-President Ahmed Ahon Kaba as chairman. The council, among others, started a process of review of the 1991 Constitution. This they saw as a deliberate attempt to forestall the democratic process to ensure the regime's continued stay in office. The SLTU, Sierra Leone Labor Congress, and other civil society, in their quest to achieve peace and ensure the restoration of democracy, Timbo and others pursued various pronged approaches, including the establishment of the National Committee for the Consolidation of Peace. Timbo was invited to serve the SLPP administration, but declined on the grounds that there was a lot of unfinished vital tasks in the SLTU. In 1997, when some members of the armed forces of Sierra Leone toppled the SLPP government and invited the Revolutionary United Front RUF headed by the late Fode Sanko together formed the Armed Forces Revolutionary Council AFRC, headed by fugitive Johnny Paul Karoma. Timbo, together with the late Hassan Mbari, then president of Sierra Leone Labor Congress and chairman of civil society movement, were called upon to serve, but they again declined to serve a junta regime. He participated in the negotiations in Loma, leading to the signing of the Lome Peace Accord that helped usher in lasting peace in Sierra Leone. As part of President Kaba's government's commitment to implement the Lome Peace Accord, Timbo was appointed Minister of Labor, Social Security and Industrial Relations, a position he held up to 2007. As Minister of Labor, Timbo transformed the Ministry of Labor to a more formidable ministry that is today the envy of most other government machinery. Was the establishment of the Industrial Court in Sierra Leone. This facilitates the enforcement of the labor laws, promotes human and trade union rights, and ensures to a large extent the prevalence of social justice in the workplace. Hence, there is an improvement in the industrial relations system in Sierra Leone. He also established the National Social Security and Insurance Trust and the National Social Safety Net. Improved on the industrial relations system in Sierra Leone.
Then need to tell anybody say with Mr. Timbo, because Mr. Timbo from the starting, we did understand I think in a day be the planning, in a day be the make up himself for this leadership. Because one thing, when you go for leadership, you have to be credible, you see, honest, you dedicated, then you have to be loyal, you see. So if at all their qualities are all Mr. Timbo get them, if Mr. Timbo they aspire for this flag bearer, we want to make the entire world know say Sierra Leone precisely. Make them know say Mr. Timbo who say born as and I wouldn't say you don't get support. Maybe we don't come for can see the date we don't select on the 30th of April. You see that day everybody go see the wonders. Everybody go know say this that the right dream of Sierra Leone. You see, Sierra Leone we don't talk in terms of leadership, but I think that the selection who people they make and the wrong choice people they do. Is whenever you think about leader, not say Uda get money, Uda they do me good. Think about the person incapability. And Timbo incapability and not say that person already for move this country. Not only for make he enrich himself, not only for make he enrich his family, now for make at least repeal Sierra Leone. Go at least now that the cry what people they make. Salon they say tranga. We need somebody who developmental oriented. This kind of person who you be a leadership, you see, you go really know how the country they move. Not to for come I enrich myself, I build house.
only way to lift our people out of poverty is to enable them to have work and employment. But for employment and work to be created, manufacturers need to be attracted to establish business. This is why it is very important in my mind to always know that when companies are about to establish their business, some of the factors that they take into consideration are mostly those that have to do with the labor costs, the physical and legal infrastructure in the country, the tax policies, the employment situations, as well as the enabling political environment for them to be able to carry on their business. This is why when I become president of the Republic of Sierra Leone, one of the key things to do is to make sure that you look at things that the investors or manufacturers will take into consideration to come and invest. Because no investor will invest in a country where people do not have a per capita income for them to be able to make purchases for the output of the products that are being manufactured. That is why I would ensure in my administration that the proper legal framework is put in place, the regulatory framework is being put in place, so that investors will be attracted to bring up business in Sierra Leone.